Chris Scalzo with
Matt Howell.
On this episode of The First Round, Matt and I are going to discuss Inferno, the latest in the Dan Brown story book series with Robert Langdon, played by Tom Hanks. We had a Da Vinci Code, Matt. We had Angels and Demons. And here we are with the third and insert adjective final installment of this series, maybe. Inferno. We'll tell you what's coming up on Blu-ray and DVD, featuring Matt's streaming pick of the week and the straight-to-DVD picks of the week. And then, Matt, it's going to be the return of Call It. It's that segment where we have to decide, make a decision. Here's some examples. We have to make that difficult choice. So, Matt, let's start everything up, though. Let's hear a clip from Inferno.
There's a switch. If you throw it, half the people on Earth will die. But if you don't, in 100 years, the human race will be extinct. I left you a path. The hardest one yet. Only you can finish it. You are humanity's final hope.
It's Dante's Inferno.
Dante defined our modern conception of hell 700 years ago. Why Dante? Why this map of hell? Someone created a plague.
Without Professor Langdon, no one can find the virus.
Oh my God.
So, Matt, Inferno. I remember watching the trailers for this thing thinking, I can't remember when I saw more exposition in a trailer. I don't know if you remember, if you saw any of the trailers of this thing, but they were basically 2.5 minutes where I felt like, all right, I don't think I need to see this movie now. I think everything that I need to know is right here in this trailer. Now, the first few films aren't particularly well received, right? They're okay, middling kind of films. And I'll be honest with you, I don't even remember the second one at all. And I can barely remember the first one, except to say that I was deeply underwhelmed. So Ron Howard returns with Tom Hanks to deliver this latest film. And I'm hoping, plainly, Matt, that this is the end. This thing, I'm not even sure where to begin. I mean, if the whole thing is about a guy who's exceptionally smart, able to solve all these puzzles, why isn't this movie any smarter? Why is the movie no smart?
It doesn't talk good. I don't even know. I mean, I'm with you. I don't think I saw the second one of these, Angels and Demons, and I know I saw the Da Vinci Code, but I can't tell you anything about it. I have no idea what happened in that movie. This is just what I like to call, Chris. This is like, you described it as middling, and that's exactly what this is. This is one of those movies that it's competently made. It has competent actors in it, but it's not exciting in any way, shape, or form. It's not necessary at all. And it's just blah. It's meh. And I knew that. I knew that as soon as there was nothing else coming out this weekend, so we had little choice but to go see this. But right. I knew going into it, this is like, I'm going to be completely underwhelmed by this. It'll be fine-ish, but it's just going to be completely a middling affair from beginning to end, and I was 100% right.
Yeah, I think that's an apt description. I really had issues with this thing, Matt, especially like some of the puzzle stuff where the whole thing at the beginning of Dante's Inferno with the letters, it's an anagram. Really? You're going to have this deep puzzle. The whole thing is just an anagram to begin with. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they're going to hide the mask to get stolen to stop all this stuff, right? They're going to hide the mask at the guy's place that he works in the well or something where Dante's, all this big reveals and all the clever things that all these smart people thought of, I feel like were things that people in an elementary school would have thought of where to hide things, where to come up with things. It was just impossibly dumb at times. And then I want to talk a minute about the fact that the whole point of this film, right, is we have Ben Foster, who wants to basically wipe out half the population of this planet. So he comes up with this super virus, and he sets up a trap to release it. But he makes a puzzle on how to make sure it's released that his partner needs to solve in order to make sure that the thing happens. So it's entirely possible that his whole plan, nothing ever would have happened if she hadn't figured out the puzzle. And of course, or he, and then Tom Hanks, his character, didn't kind of lead the way for all this stuff to happen. The mere fact that his whole plot could have been foiled if she or he or the bad people were hit by a bus, or if something happened, and that his whole plan never would have unfurled. Am I wrong on that?
Yeah, Chris, but you're neglecting, and I don't even care. Spoiler alert, whatever. If you who cares? You're missing the critical flashback of characterization where she's really good at solving puzzles, and that's really all you need to know.
Why? Why would you have this brilliant plan to wipe out half the population? Because you feel it has to happen. If it doesn't happen, the world's going to end, right? You're convinced of this. So then you set up a puzzle where, it might not happen anyway. And you sacrifice your own life and set it up so it may not happen anyway.
This is the paint by numbers plot of this film needed stakes, Chris. That's why Tom Hanks had amnesia for some reason. That was very convenient. This is why everybody's really good at solving puzzles, and this is why they've made a very convoluted plot that everybody can chase after. I mean, it obviously makes a ton of sense, the whole thing.
It is so incessantly dumb all the way through. And one thing, too, is I think Howard does the best he can with the editing of this, because the way he cuts it makes it feel fast-paced, and yet it's still insanely dull. I thought sorry, go ahead.
No. You finish your thought, Chris.
No, I was just going to move on to other stuff. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm irritated here talking to you about it because I was very blasé about the whole experience, and I had just moved on with my life. But now, the more you talk about it, the more angry. And yeah, this is not a good movie. I wasted my time, kind of thing. So thanks for that.
So I want to say a couple things first. That I actually kind of enjoyed Hans Zimmer's score in this film. I thought it was interesting, though it seemed to invoke thoughts of more Cliff Martinez, a la Neon Demon and other stuff at some points. But I mean, that's always been the knock against Zimmer. Either he doesn't write his own stuff, he has a cadre of musicians that actually write his music, or always flesh out his ideas, wink, wink, or he just borrows heavily from other things. But still, that was okay. I thought some of the locations were fantastic. There were some locations in this film that I'd never seen before that I thought were really interesting, particularly the climactic scene, whatever that thing was, I thought was pretty cool. I think, was that in Venice? Was that in Venice, or was that in Austria? Actually, let me rephrase that. If you're not the kind of person that demands thrills, dialogue, story, or logic, then this is the film for you. I feel like it's an adult thriller for your parents who want something to watch while they're doing the laundry. I think this is the best way I can describe it. So there's one thing I could take away from this, Matt, is that I want to see the Irfan Khan character in another film. The only interesting thing in this for me was Irfan Khan. I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel like I could see a whole series of his character. He's the guy that runs the security firm on that barge or whatever it is. Yeah, I think his character was the most interesting, and he's the one I wanted to spend the most time with.
Yeah, he was fine. I mean, he was fine. I mean, he wasn't blowing me away. I mean, I think you're trying to find a diamond in the rough or polish a turd a little bit to find something, worthwhile in this thing. And I don't know. It was fine. I mean, even if, we had the, what's his name? Irfan Khan. Even if we had his own series, I mean, it'd still be, again, you described it perfectly. This is a movie for your parents. Sorry, mom and dad. I know we're getting older here, but this is a movie for your parents. And damn you, Ron Howard and Tom Hanks, for making me say that in my mid to late 30s, however old I am.
Yeah, this is rough. This has been a rough go, right? Because was it Tom Hanks has had a bad film, and then who else was a big star? Oh, Tom Cruise or Jack Reacher.
Yeah.
Both big Hollywood bankable stars have a couple just films that are tanking right now and have not had a good run as of late. So
well, I mean, they need to be able to pick some projects that are fun. That's their fault.
And what did you think of the big reveal in this film of who our arch villain is? Were you all right with that?
The big reveal.
Well, I use that term loosely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right? With the because Howard keeps you guessing as to who the bad person is behind all this stuff, who's manipulating Tom Hanks or is after him.
Right.
There's a rather deft feint in regards to one of the security people, but then there's the ultimate reveal of who's been taking advantage of him. And I thought, I don't know if it was just the film had dumbed me down, but I did not expect that. I got to admit that did. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And then I was kind of like, wait. And then I got angry. All the flashbacks started flowing. But I don't know. How did you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was telegraphed. I was like, yeah, okay, this person's a bad guy. This person's a bad guy. They, and he would kind of like, oh, maybe not. But then it'd be like, oh, wait, that significant look, that person just gave, or that pregnant pause that they just had. Yeah, they're the bad guy, and I was not wrong. So, way to go, Ron Howard. We get into M. Night Shyamalan territory with your telegraphing here, buddy.
Good for you. So I'd have to give this, if I were to sign this letter grade, Matt, I think I'm being polite and giving this a C+. I'm sorry, C-. I meant C-. I was leaning to, clearly I'm leaning towards D+ in my head. Or is it a gentleman's D+? But I'll say C- right for now. And if you get me in a bad mood, it could drop precipitously. What about you?
Yeah, I would say it's a C- too, and I'm only giving it because, like I said, it's competently made and it's competently acted, but it's very, very faint praise. This is not a great film.
If you've had a chance to see Inferno, shoot us an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com. Matt, all right, a couple things coming up on Blu-ray and DVD this upcoming Tuesday. That's November 8th. First off, it's Sausage Party, the dirty animated film from Seth Rogen and crew that tell you what happens to the groceries once they get home. Because the groceries are actually all alive. And then they all think that they're going to heaven when they get taken out of the grocery store. And instead, they're about to be all slaughtered.
Yeah, you're all murderers, even you vegans. You're all murderers. You better just lean into it.
I love, too, I guess the story behind this is they were all sitting around getting high. I'm assuming at that part. And Rogan was there, him and his buddy, or maybe it was Evan Goldberg. They were all talking about the Pixar movies and how they all focus on all these things that have secret lives, and then what would happen if that was food. And that's how you come up with Sausage Party. If you buy it from Target, Matt, you get a steel book. There's the Good Food gag reel, Linorama, and some other stuff as well. Your typical, deleted scenes, gag reel type stuff. A movie, Matt, you were excited about, Kickboxer Vengeance, is being released. Stars Dave Bautista, Gina Carano, and of course, in the mentor role this time, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That might be worth tracking down. We may have to finish up this was that straight to DVD?
Yeah, the straight to DVD marathon, because we were supposed to do it with Hard to Kill or Hard Target 2, Target 2, which we never did.
I mean, I don't know, Kickboxer Vengeance, is that what it's called? Kickboxer what? Okay. That might be worth tracking down. I'll do it solo if I have to.
Fair enough. All right, we'll talk about it. New to Blu-ray, Scream Factor is giving us Bubba Hotep, which includes an all-new commentary by the author of the original graphic novel. It's based on Joe Lonsdale. An interview with Don Coscarelli, who directed the film. An all-new interview with Bruce Campbell, who, of course, plays Elvis in the film. Everybody, you're familiar with Bubba Hotep. Matt, you've seen Bubba Hotep, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I saw it. It was during the kind of dry spell that Bruce Campbell was having. I wasn't particularly impressed with it. I think you have to be of a certain bent to really enjoy it. I mean, but I know people who love it.
Yeah, so includes some of the old features as well. They ported over the commentary with Coscarelli and Bruce Campbell. And, of course, he does a commentary as Elvis for the film, which I think is worth checking out just for that. Some deleted scenes and some other stuff as well, so you can pick that up. Matt, Criterion, the sale right now is going on at Barnes & Noble if you're not aware. But Criterion's 50th anniversary, 50% off sale is going on at Barnes & Noble. And one of the big things being released this week is the Lone Wolf and Cub collection. Includes all the Lone Wolf and Cub films, sort of Vengeance, Baby Cart at the River Styx, Baby Cart to Hades, Baby Cart in Peril, Baby Cart in the Land of Demons, and then White Heaven and Hell. All all of the films being released, all 6 of them. And it also includes the Shogun Assassin, I think, is that what it's called? Which is the Americanized version of the first 2 films combined into one. So, or am I mixing things up with that something else? It's been a long day. No, that is it. The Shogun Assassin, the first 2 films. That's the U.S. version, Matt, the 1980 English dubbed one. So I was smart, Matt. I picked this up because when Amazon first listed it, they messed up and they charged the regular Criterion price of $39.99 instead of the $100 that it actually is.
Wow. This is if you guys don't know about Chris here, after listening to us for 300 plus episodes, not even us, just him really, because he's the constant of this thing. But this Criterion sale that's at Barnes & Noble, this is like his Christmas and Black Friday. He plans this out all year long to figure out what he's gonna buy, and it is adorable.
Yep, I got this, though I picked it up from Amazon, obviously, previously. I'm leaning towards Mulholland Drive. What else? I have a whole list. Of course, I'm not prepared to reveal what it is. I'll let you know when we actually get through it. But there's quite a few I'm looking at. Dress to Kill, I think, the Palma film is on the list as well. And possibly Del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth, their Blu-ray version. I think that's streeting, if not already out. It's out already, right? Yeah. So that'll probably be the third one. I try and get 3 at a time, Matt. 1 upgrade and then 2 new ones.
Can I admit something? I've never seen Mulholland Drive.
Really?
I never have. Never seen Lost Highway either.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I have. Maybe I'll send you that too. It's on DVD, but I have the Mulholland Drive DVD. I'd be more than happy to ship that up to you when I upgrade to the Blu-ray.
You're so good to me.
So, and you're already going to get my copy of The Thing because I have the Scream Factory one. So those will probably come together. All right.
These are residual benefits of being a subpar co-host, folks. You get the benefits of Chris's obsessions.
My hand-me-downs. Taxi Driver 40th Anniversary Edition, Matt, and features an all-new 40-minute Q&A with Marty, Bobby, and Jody, as I affectionately am allowed to call them. Interactive script-to-screen, the original 1986 commentary as well with Martin Scorsese and writer Paul Schrader. That was included on the Criterion edition of Taxi Driver on Laserdisc. That's how old that was.
Wow.
So you can pick that up. There's a making-of documentary as well on disc 2 of that set. So I have that on DVD. I may upgrade for that, though, because I'd like to hear that commentary with Schrader and Scorsese. Arrow is giving us the, I believe, 80s horror film, The Initiation. Includes a brand new restoration of the original film elements and some other stuff, a new audio commentary by a group called The Hysteria Continues. I have no idea what that is. New interviews with some of the actors as well. Straight to DVD pick of the week, Matt. I'm going to give you a Halloween. You can figure out where I'm going with that. It's a comedic blend of murder, mystery, and marijuana. Trying to escape the infamy of a serial killer father, Trent Modine and his goofball stepbrother Joey, both seeking a new start, find refuge in a small town of Mooseheart. Joey, a complete stoner in a town known for its good weed and stories of the candy corn killer, is a disaster waiting to happen. As you can imagine, and I hope you do, it doesn't take long before the family name catches up. Trent and Jody must figure out how to sort through a string of cliche murders so happens to happen right as they arrive. That's Halloween. And I think the reason I grabbed that too is because if I remember correctly, Jay is in that.
I'm sorry. Okay, thank you.
So, do you have any streaming picks for us, then? You're going to leave me in suspense?
That was a smooth segue. Yes, I do. So, as you know, we have an election coming up. I don't know if you've heard of this, and maybe
not
a big deal. No. I mean, it's pretty low key. It's not contentious at all. Trying to find something that was kind of fit the mood a little bit, just kind of remind people of where we are. So, one of our, I think, honorable mention movies of last year, The Big Short, is available on Netflix. It's really about the financial crisis from 2008. Directed by Adam McKay, who's known for his comedies like Anchorman and the Other Guys. It's got some funny bits to it, but it's something that's going to make you not happy when you watch it, depending on how much you believe is what actually happens. So I would recommend everybody go out and check it out, just to kind of get your political blood boiling, whatever that happens to be, whatever side you lean on right before you go to the polls. That'd be a great idea.
Yeah, it's actually a really good film too. Nominated for Best Picture, so it's definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen it. All right.
Oh, and I have
more.
Ooh. Well, I have one other thing. I just wanted to point this out. I don't know if this is true for everybody, but my particular cable subscriber provider, which is Frontier, I believe, they're actually allowing you to view on demand 10 Cloverfield Lane for free in HD, just for being a subscriber. I don't know if that's true of any other places, but it's free on demand version of 10 Cloverfield Lane. That is some cheap stuff, and you should check that out.
Free is very cheap, yes, man.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That's a lot of fun. That's a great movie, I think, too. Maybe the ending of it, but the first 2/3 is fantastic, and then the ending, I think, make your own decisions.
I agree.
All right.
I'm drinking, Chris. What do you want from me? Leave me alone.
Knock yourself out. Hey, you know what? It's Sunday night, right? You know everything going on tomorrow. So, Matt, let's take a break, come back, and we got a few things to discuss with Call It. So, what could we be playing next?
I used to want to save the world. This beautiful place. But the closer you get, the more you see the great darkness within.
What is your mission?
To stop the war.
What war?
The war to end all wars. Weapons far deadlier than you can ever imagine.
The war can be ours.
Wherever you are in more danger than you think.
I cannot stand by while innocent lives are lost. Be careful, Diana.
Who is this woman?
She's my secretary, sir. She's a very good secretary.
It is our sacred duty to defend the world, and it's what I'm going to do.
All right, Matt. So this is Call It, where we have to describe certain. Well, we have to make a decision. I was about to explain what are the odds is, which is not the segment we're doing this week. It's been a long weekend. Can I tell you guys? I'm really tired. I've been doing a lot of stuff and a lot of things outside of just a show. Lots of prep, lots of stuff. So anyway, nobody cares, Chris. Let's move on. Matt, Call It. What is the Rotten Tomatoes score going to be for Wonder Woman? You just heard the trailer.
It's gonna be 70%. I think there's gonna. I mean, I'm not convinced. You know, I'm very bearish on any DCU films. I'm not convinced until I actually go and see them. It looks okay, but hey, I'm not super excited to go see this. But I think at the end of the day, I'm actually fairly confident it'll do all right. So I'm gonna say 70%.
That's funny. I was thinking 73 in my head from the very beginning. I think it's 73. I'm confident that it'll be relatively well received. But I've been very wrong before. We'll see. All right, what do you got?
All right, so this isn't really the spirit of Call It, so I'm going to try and word this the best way I can, but I wanted to ask you this question because I thought it was an interesting one. All right, so we're in a glut of superhero movies. Hell, we just talked about Wonder Woman. We're going to talk about Doctor Strange next week. Obviously, superheroes are freaking everywhere. So, Call It. Are superhero movies the new Western? Meaning culturally saturated, and then they're going to disappear within a few years.
No, I don't think so. I think the thing about superheroes and comic books is that they're the perfect story for movies because they fit everything you're looking for in a movie. It gives you every point you want. You get drama, you can get romance, you get adventure, you can get some action, you can, everything you can find in a comic book or superhero story. So where there'll be a dip in quality, I think we've seen that. I think that has already begun. But I think as long as the right story and the right performance, actors, directors, all that stuff kind of comes together, it's going to keep going. So, yeah, there's always reboots, all that stuff. So, no, I don't think it's going to be a fad. I think that superheroes, now maybe it may wane a bit where we're not going to get a dozen every year, but I don't think they're going away. They're just, and plus, there's just too much money involved. Because unlike Westerns, with superhero stuff, you can set up tent poles and franchises for years and years to come. Westerns, I mean, you had that run with the Magnificent Seven series, but even then, how many Western franchises can you think of? The Man with No Name, and then the Magnificent Seven, and what else?
I can't really. I mean, it was just more from the sense that, from like the 50s and 60s, I mean, Westerns were everywhere. They were on all the films and they were on TV and all that kind of stuff. And, I think a lot of the Hollywood output was Westerns, and that's what people seemed to like. And then they just kind of lost interest of it in the 70s, and it kind of just died, So I don't know. I mean, as somebody who was pretty forgiving of a lot of these films coming out, I have to say I'm starting to get a little underwhelmed and less excited about a lot of these things that are coming out. I'm pleasantly surprised by like a Guardians of the Galaxy or Ant-Man or something like the Captain America. Last couple of entries have been pretty good, but I mean, generally I'm not as super into it anymore. And I think I don't know. I'm with you. I think it'll have legs, it'll have staying power, but I think you're going to see maybe only within the next, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years, maybe only 1 or 2 superhero films come out a year. I mean, they do okay, but I think you're going to see a bit of a backlash or a recession of these type of films, which is okay.
Yeah, I wonder what happens with Marvel next. I mean, we're almost at Phase 4, right? And,
right.
I mean, I know they have a lot of stories to tell, but I think part of it is they're handicapped by the poor performance, or at least the poor reception of the X-Men films as of late. They got Deadpool, but you can only make so many Deadpool movies in a row, every year.
Right.
So you got to wait everything. What are you looking at? Every 2 to 3 years for a franchise film. So, yeah, I don't know. I actually think, in a weird way, if they get their S together, I think DC is in a better position than Marvel is now. But it's a matter of them. I think it's more because with DC, all the stuff's still coming.
Right.
While with Marvel, we'll be shifting on to Iron Man 4, Captain America 4,
right,
Thor 4.
And they have control. And DC has control of everything. I mean, like the Marvel's missing. The X-Men, they're missing the Fantastic Four, and they're only being loaned Spider-Man. Those are like 3 of their biggest franchises, especially X-Men and Spider-Man. I think it really handicaps them. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm impressed what they've been able to do with their kind of B, C, D-list characters. But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, if DC can get their S together, which I have no confidence that they can, they're gonna have to burn it to the ground and start over, I think, at this point. Yeah, they could really make something out of what they got, because you're right, it's all kind of fresh for people.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, Matt. So I guess that might as well just bring me to my next one then, to keep the superhero talk going. So call it one series or the other, Iron Man or Captain America.
I'm definitely gonna go with Captain America. Well, I thought the first Avenger was pretty weak, and I really adore the first Iron Man. Winter Soldier and even Civil War are just way superior to either of the other 2 Iron Man entries.
Yeah, they've really switched, haven't they? Because that first Iron Man film was great. The second one was okay. The third one I thought was actually a little better than the second one, though some people say it's worse. But they're definitely a step down from the first one. And it's the exact opposite. The Captain America films have gotten better each time out.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'd have to.
So yeah, I'd go with Captain America.
Yeah, I would as well. That's too bad too, man, because, man, we are all about RDJ around here. And to not be able to see another Iron Man movie ever again. Oof. But
I'm okay with them showing up in the Avengers and stuff like that. I mean, maybe in smaller doses. Maybe that's the way you go.
Fair enough. All right, what do you got?
All right, so our boy QT, and for the people not in the know, that's Quentin Tarantino. He's done 8 movies so far, and he has been saying for years and years, and he was asked again recently, and he said, I'm doing 2 more, and that's it. I'm out. 10 movies is my entire opus. All right? So he's had the rumor of 3 movies. So call it. Which are the 2 movies he's going to make? Now, granted, this is just kind of very high level of what he's planning on doing. A 1930s gangster period piece, a contemporary crime thing that he just says that he wants to make so he can have a cool driving montage and chase scenes, or a horror film. So call it. Which 2 is he going to do?
I'll say, I think the 30s gangster thing is going to be too much for him to resist with that dialogue. She, look at me, hey, yeah. I think he can't turn away. He can't turn away from that. And then I don't know. I think maybe Death Proof may have left a sour taste in his mouth. The reception to that film, though, I think it's actually pretty good. But you never think about it when people talk about Tarantino. How often does Death Proof pop in your head? It doesn't.
It pops in my head quite a bit because it's actually one of my favorite Tarantino films. I
really?
enjoyed it. Is. I really like Death Proof a lot.
Where do you rank it?
I would rank it third. I would rank it third of his films. And I know.
Whoa! All right, let's. I want to hear this.
No. I'm not saying it's the best of his films. I'm not saying it's the most influential. I'm just saying it's the one that I enjoy. Like, I will go watch Death Proof because I think it's hella fun more than I'll go watch like even Pulp Fiction. Even though I know that's a much more groundbreaking film. It's a better film, but yeah. Kill Bills is number 1, which I consider as one film, right? Because it's not fair to split them up. Inglourious Basterds is probably second, which I don't think as a whole is great, but if you take it as vignettes, it's incredible. And Death Proof just because it's so damn fun. I love Death Proof. It's just so much fun to watch. I love watching it. Yeah,
I love Kurt Russell in that film too. Man, I don't know, man. I'm looking at it right now. Pulp Fiction is easily, I think, my number 1. 2, I would probably go Kill Bill. If I had to choose one, it would be Kill Bill Part 2, or Volume 2, excuse me. I would probably then go Inglourious Basterds and Hateful Eight. I really liked Hateful Eight. So maybe then Death Proof comes in. No, I got to get Reservoir Dogs in there. I have no idea. But I know for a fact that Death Proof would not be number 3.
Well, then that's fine. I understand. I mean, I don't think there's a wrong opinion. I mean, I think other than maybe putting Jackie Brown last. I mean, it's not even a bad film. It's just it's not really his film. I mean, other than the fact because he didn't write it. You can make an argument for really any order that you want. I just like watching Death Proof. I just think it's a really fun movie, and I enjoy it. I don't think it's better than any of his other films, really, but. I know it's the wrong answer, but I freaking love it. I love it.
As long as you know it's the wrong answer.
Yeah. I mean, and to be quite honest with you, I put like Jackie Brown, Django, and then Hateful Eight probably in the bottom 3 for his movies for me. I would put Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction above Django and Hateful Eight for sure.
We'll have to talk about your displeasure with the Hateful Eight sometime. That's too bad. All right.
I just need to watch it again, I think.
Maybe you should.
Maybe I should. So let me answer my own question. Yeah, I think I'm 100% on board with you. He's not going to be able to resist doing a 1930s gangster film. As much as I would love him to do a super scary, as in his words, horror film like The Exorcist, I would be really interested to see that. I don't think he would do that if it's going to be his last film. I think he's going to go out the way it came in and do like a contemporary crime film, just because I think he likes that idea of symmetry between Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, which put him on the map.
You don't think there'll be a Kill Bill 3, Volume 3 will be one of them?
I don't think so. Although I'm hoping maybe we get 12 films out of him because then we can get the sci-fi film that you and I want him to do and horror film. He's got to touch all the genres, man. He's got to touch all the genres before he can go out. Yeah. And he's got to do a martial art. Well, no, I guess he did a martial arts film with the Kill Bills. Yeah. So that's what he's got left.
Well, and I've always wanted him to make his James Bond film. I can't tell you how much I want to see his Bond film, which is supposed to be set in the early 60s, and he was gonna shoot it in black and white. But
We need to start a letter writing campaign. You got to, Quentin, 2 more, 12. Do at least 12, and you'll be cool.
Yeah, and then we'll be happy. That'll be fine. It's one this Bond film, it's one sci-fi, and then 2 of your choice.
We're not demanding. We're easy guys to please.
There you go. All right, Matt. So I guess for my final one, are you ready? Now we know I think much more of a movie score guy than you are, following composers and stuff. But I'm going to give you 2, and you got to decide which one. You ready?
Ready.
Ennio Morricone or John Williams?
Oh, you MFer.
So let's be clear. We're talking Morricone, who does the iconic Western scores, but not just the Western scores, but those seem to be the ones he's most remembered for, right? Though his score for The Mission is gorgeous. Battle of Algiers is a great one. But for it, and of course, I think one of the greatest film scores ever, which is the one for The Thing, but that's also probably because of my affection for the film. But then you have John Williams, who is the king of just anthems, right?
Yeah.
Star Wars, Superman, Indiana Jones,
E.T., Jaws, Jurassic Park. Geez. Okay, so I'm gonna go this way. As much as I love John Williams' score and things like, when Elliot's flying across the moon and the score swells, gets me all choked up still in my late 30s here, as it did when I was, however old I was when that came out. The hipster in me, the aging hipster in me, is going to say Ennio Morricone, just because if John Williams is, I don't know, One Direction or something like that, Morricone, he's like Bach. I mean, his stuff is
it's One Direction.
Or the Beatles. Maybe we'll say John Williams is the Beatles, but I mean Morricone is like Bach. So yeah, I mean his stuff is absolutely amazing. You can throw that up against there. If you threw some of pieces of his scores, especially some of his stuff he did for Leone, you could throw those in with like Mozart or Vivaldi or whatever, and it wouldn't seem out of place. Whereas I think you could with Williams, it'd be like, oh, that's cute, So I don't know. As much as I enjoy it, I have to go with Morricone.
Yeah, I actually have to agree with you on that. It kills me to say it because when I think of the iconic scores for the films, you tend to go, you gravitate towards John Williams because you're just so well known. But I think that's part of my issue too. They're very ingrained in all that stuff. I feel like they're very common. You hear the themes, you know what they are immediately. Maybe it's because I've heard them so much in my lives. All of them, all of my past lives. But it's with Morricone, it's there's something about his scores that there's a depth to them. I can't put my finger on it. But with Williams, I know what I'm going to get. It's going to be huge. It's going to be epic. I get it, and I know what I'm getting. With Morricone, there's an air of mystery to that. There's always going to be a different sound, I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it, but all I know is when I come back to the scores I listen to the most, it's Morricone every time. So I think that's what I have to go with as my vote.
Yeah. I think that's the right choice.
Well, I appreciate that you agree. So what do you got? Any more?
Yeah, I got one more. I got a true call it. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, you can only pick one. Who stays and who disappears as if they never existed, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
QT, Quentin Tarantino, Christopher Nolan, or David Fincher?
You give me 3?
I'm giving you 3.
Tarantino, Fincher, or Nolan? No, here's the thing. As part of this game, folks, you got to realize their whole oeuvre, everything they've done, never existed. So you never got to see The Dark Knight if you choose Christopher Nolan or Inception. Memento. If I go with Fincher, if I knock Fincher off the block, I lose 7.
Yep.
I lose Fight Club.
Mm-hmm.
I could lose Girl with Dragon Tattoo. That would be all right. Alien 3 I could go away with. It's not really his film anyway. Or Tarantino. Well, It's got to. I got to keep Tarantino, man. I don't have I don't see a choice. I don't really see an option in that window. If you gave me Fincher, Nolan, that would probably be harder. But I think Tarantino is easily, clearly heads above the only option for me there in those three.
Yeah, I agree. I think you have to keep QT because we're friends like that. That's what I call him when I text him. He's in my phone. Yeah, I mean, as much as I enjoy Fincher and Nolan, I think if you take the work as a whole, I think you got to keep Quentin Tarantino because his is strongest from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
And can I give you a bonus? Call it based off of
Sure.
your last question. All right, so Morricone or Bernard Herrmann?
Yeah, I know. I was going back and forth. That was originally who I was going to choose, but I felt like people wouldn't have been as up on Herman. Mostly known for his collaborations with Hitchcock that are unforgettable and stunning. His score for Vertigo is one of the most beautiful pieces of music I've ever heard. And Psycho, what he did with Psycho, because they didn't have a lot of money, because the only way Hitchcock was able to make it, he basically financed the whole thing because their studios refused to let him make it. So they decided to go with all strings because it was the cheapest way they could do it.
Mm-hmm.
I still got to go Morricone, I think. I have to. But that's tough.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would go with Morricone as well, but that would be a much, much harder decision, and I would feel sadness inside if all that stuff went away.
Yeah, I don't. Oof. I think it's more. Yeah, man. That's hard. Yeah, I guess I got to go with Morricone, but still, that one would haunt me for a while. That one would really. I'd have to. And if you ask me next week, Matt, I could change my mind. But that's where I am right now.
After you've listened to Psycho and Vertigo and North by Northwest on repeat for a week.
North by Northwest is so good. All right. Fair enough, Matt. You ready for your trivia question?
Yeah, I am.
All right, here you go. True or false? Chicago, because we're down to just drama and musical in this card. Chicago was the first musical to win a Best Picture Oscar in 35 years. Is that true or false?
I don't know the answer, but I got a 50-50 shot, so I'm going to go on a limb and say that is true.
That is true. Congratulations.
All right. Yeah.
That is wonderful. Wonderful job on your part.
Thank you.
All right. So that's a big show for this week. Next week, Matt, we're going to talk about Doctor Strange. Hacksaw Ridge 2, probably too. I'm focusing on seeing both. I haven't seen any of them yet. I can't go see. I usually go on Tuesday nights, and I can't go Tuesday, unfortunately, because I'm actually doing some volunteering for one of the campaigns. So I'll be working tomorrow night and Tuesday night through all that stuff. So I'm going to try and do it Friday, I guess. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I guarantee you Doctor Strange, and we'll go from there.
I agree. I've already seen Doctor Strange, so I'm a leg up.
Nice. So shoot us an email. Let us know your answers for call. We'd love to hear them. What would you keep? Morricone, Williams, Nolan, Fincher, or Tarantino? That's all right. Well, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Check us out on Facebook. We're also on Twitter, YouTube. We're no longer on Vine. We're on Instagram. Just do a search for The First Run, and you will find us. All right, Matt, that's the big show for this week. I will take a break, and we'll see you all soon.
Hello.
Mr. Kennedy, ask not what your rest home can do for you. Ask what you can do for your rest home.
Hey, you're copying my best lines.
And let me paraphrase one of my own. Let's take care of business.
Just what are you getting at, Elvis?
I think you know what I'm getting at, Mr. President. We're gonna kill us a mummy.